We'll call the 2025 budget hearing to order. And we'll declare a quorum of the trustees. Open the public hearing. Public hearing open, presentation of the 2025 Village of Port Edwards budget.
Tonight I'm here to present you guys the 2025 budget. Basically the whole tax rate for the Village of Port Edwards with everything is 22.10. That is down from last year at 22.29. As then when it comes to the local part from the Village of Port Edwards, we are down to 816. Last year was 953. So the reason why it pretty much stayed the same, obviously, we had some school referendums that came through that took the school tax rate up. Mid-state and the county stayed the same, go down a little bit. So that would give us the total tax rate this year of 22.10. Included in the village budget, we kind of went over a lot of different things, obviously, in the past few months. This was the cash allow location, went from 100,000 to 200,000. This year's budget also reflects, purchasing lawnmower and a pickup truck out of 400 accounts. It also reflected, a change in administration. Public Works Director and Administrator is now in effect and got rid of the administration budget line. This also has a overlap of the wages and benefits for hiring a new police chief. And also has in it, a wage increase for all full-time staff employees. I don't know if anybody in the public has any questions at all on the budget at all.
Any public comments on the budget? No, none. Anybody have anything else for right now? Don't you think? Otherwise we can more and belabor it in the next agenda. Okay. Thank you for that. Then I will close the public hearing piece of the meeting. What's that, 7:02? 7:02. And then I will call the regular village board meeting to order at the same time. And then I will ask Diane to.
Trustee Kluger,
Present.
trustee Hess,
Present.
trustee Hummel,
President.
trustee Radke,
Here.
trustee Saylor.
Here.
Therefore,
Here.
Okay, then we will stand to do the pledge of allegiance with a moment of silence afterwards. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Then we will go to stuff everywhere. Number 4, motion to approve the consent agenda, A, meeting minutes of November 13th, 2024 board meeting, and B, monthly bills and previous month's journal entries. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Radke. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Hess. Any discussion on that? Anybody want anything pulled? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That one passes. Okay. And then we are number 5, public comment. Is there any public comment on for tonight? Anybody on?
Nobody online.
Nobody's on there? Okay, then. On to president's report. Don't have a whole lot besides that this is Dwayne's last day with us. So I want to thank Dwayne for all of his work over the last almost a year and a half. Almost 2 years, a year and a half. He's done a lot for our village, not only for this stint, but the stint before that he helped the village out. So I appreciate all that you have done for us and the work that you've done. And then I will give you your challenge coin later so you can remember us by. So thank you, Dwayne.
Thank you.
And then, that's all I have for president's reports. So going to commission and committees, airport commission.
The minutes you have is from our November 7th meeting. Being at my age, even looking at the minutes, I'm not so sure I can remember what went on. The only one thing on page 2 under new business last time, item 5, it was discussing consider action regarding hangar access policy. Chairman Hamilton discussed the concerns previously brought to the commission, future expectations, no action taken. All as we well know, and this has been being discussed for a while. We'll discuss it again tomorrow. And hopefully we'll come to a resolution as who's going to have access to the hangar. So that's about it. Our next meeting, we would be talking, we had moved up this meeting up, about the meeting we're having tomorrow, regular schedule. As I usually say, if you have nothing to do at 8 o'clock in the morning, come on out there.
Anything from anybody? Any questions about the airport? No? All right. Police and Fire Commission, Chairman Stewart can't be here. I'll read his update. If I can find it. Okay. The police chief finalists will undergo their assessment panel interviews on 12/19. The PFC will meet the same day and hope to have a decision to share soon after that. And that's where they are on that. And then it would be going to Mr. Martinson and trustee Radke for negotiating for the salary. So they will let us know after the 19th. Right. Plan commission, there was nothing. Public Works Committee, trustee Saylor.
We met November 20th. Just an update from Ben on the completion of summer projects, and talking about some winter things. Does anybody have any questions on anything from the Public Works Committee?
Questions? No?
It's pretty dull. I have two motions. So we did have a discussion on the water utility budget and the wastewater utility. I will make a motion to approve the proposed water utility budget.
Motion made by Saylor. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Radke. Discussion. Go ahead.
If Ben wants to update on that, there's no increase.
No increase from the water. This covers doing some filter repairs. And also includes trying to put some of our water utility money into road projects next year. This definitely covers a lot of things, and chemical prices went up a little bit, but everything's within that. Obviously, for the newer people, and we can't increase the water. We send in the spring of the year to the PFC our water rates, where we're at with everything in our budget, and they make a decision if we can increase or not. So we always send those in every year. Diane does, to see where we're at, to bring back to that committee on rate increases. But at this point, the water budget looks good with no rate increases proposed for 2025.
Any questions on that for either Chairman Saylor or Mr. Martinson? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion to approve the proposed water utility budget signify by saying aye. Any opposed? That one carries.
The second motion that I'm gonna bring forth is the wastewater utility. I'm asking for a 2% raise. The last 2 years, we have not had a raise. But we can talk about that. With that, I'll make a motion to approve the proposed wastewater utility budget that includes a 2% rate increase effective January 2025.
Okay, motion made by Saylor. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Radke. Discussion.
So like, we'll just kind of do, obviously in your packet, you guys had, our past wastewater rates increases. That goes back till 2008. You see every other year, vice versa, back and forth. And it gives you good information, based on a 1,500 cubic foot per quarter, what an average one or two person would use it on a 2% increase. You're looking at a 3.35 increase per quarter. As you get into this, why we're doing this, we talk about it in the budget, our utilities, as we do a road project. The water needs to pay for the new water line, the road sewer needs to pay for the new sewer. The public works need to pay for the blacktop and the curb and gutter. It's something we haven't been able to do. Is basically utilities weren't able to fund those projects. In order to do these big projects without having to borrow a bunch of money, our utilities, we need to get a slight increase to get see if we can get some cash flow to be able to do those projects. We did a variable compared to the local areas around us, to the north and to the south. We're definitely still not in any numbers they are. They obviously do monthly or quarterly, so as you break it down, we're still way under anybody's rates. Obviously this year we did complete our last payment of the wastewater plant, so this was a good time to start using some money, hopefully, to be able to have utilities pay for this wastewater construction that happens in the road. As the wastewater plant itself, I think it's in good shape. So the next few years, hopefully we can basically concentrate on getting the old sewer lines from the 40s and the 50s, and hard to believe there's still some old those lines in town, we need to get those fixed. No resident in this town wants to have a collapsed wastewater pipe, and here we sit and not able to be able to fix them. So one thing I'm really gonna work on is be able to get some of these wastewater lines repaired in a few years. So this increase will definitely help us get on track to, try to help fund that.
Anything else, Chairman Taylor, you want to add on that?
Want to bring anything up on that? Good question, Sam.
Well, yeah, I would, I guess, I hate to see an increase in anything, but I understand that it's a moderate increase and we have to look for the future. I'm not 100%, let's increase this by 2%. I know we just increased the water here about 2 years ago. And so now, it's again, the water and the waste is both on the same bill. But if we're not proactive, after thinking about this, if we're not proactive by doing this, we could have problems in the future with sewer lines or road projects. So I teeter on it back and forth. Like I said, you can see I got my Grinch Christmas shirt or sweater, I don't know. But I think that planning for the future, that I'll support it.
Any other questions, comments, concerns from anybody? No, okay, hearing none. We have a motion by Sandler, second by Radke to approve the proposed wastewater utility budget that includes a 2% rate increase effective January 2025. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That will carries.
And then our next meeting is Wednesday, January 22nd at 5 PM.
Eric, resolution, please.
Oh, resolution. I'm gonna read that, or how do you want?
Let's pass the resolution number, right? Let's pass the resolution.
I gotta make it.
Yes.
Just the number.
Read the title.
I'll make a motion to approve the village board resolution number 2024-07. Repealing and replacing the official fee schedule of the village of Port Edwards and increasing the sewer rate by 2%.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Sandler, second by Radke. Discussion on it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Anything else out of public?
Unless anybody has any questions.
Okay. Thank you. Let's go to Parks and Recreation Committee, Chairman Hummel.
Yes, thank you. We did not meet as a group in December. However, I want to remind people again that this Sunday is the tree lighting ceremony from 3:30 to 5:30. I'd really love to see all of you there. I'm going to thank Mr. Martinson for the amount of work he put into that. I know that's not a easy kind of task, and hopefully the weather will hold really well and we'll have a really good time. Our next meeting will be January 16th at 6 o'clock, at which time we'll be hopefully meeting with organization leaders in the village to discuss possible ideas and opportunities to create a Port Edwards Fest of some sort. So you all are welcome to that meeting as well. We're gonna see what ideas we can come up with.
Okay. Any questions for Parks? No, thank you. We will move on to the Public Safety Committee. Chairman's review.
Okay, first thing is just a reminder that we won't have a meeting in December unless something comes up. Talk to both chiefs, and they have nothing pressing, so there's no need to come down and meet. Also, we will be keeping our meetings in, as chairman, until I'm replaced by the president. I'm going to strictly keep them on the fourth Wednesday and at 4 p.m. because that way we're not second guessing, and especially trustees Hess and Fluger can plan their work schedules and agendas a little bit better that way. Of course, that, something once again comes up, that'll have to be looked at that time, but generally that is our set time, and so that'll be on January 22nd at 4 p.m. will be our next meeting. Just for a refresher for me again, it seems like it's been so long since we met. Brandon represented the police department and chief was here for the fire department general update. Do you want to just go over anything, chief, like the grant you got or whatever? And then, one other thing, I'll get to that later. I guess the one for the.
Without objection, we will go off table to Chief Lease.
I just, I should hear it from you.
Yeah. All right, so for the fire department, we got a DNR grant, that was 50/50 grant. Gonna be about $2,000 out of my budget to get new equipment and tools for wildland firefighting. We're dropping Lexipol, and because I have my updated SOGs from the state, there's no way I could continue to pay the $3,500 a year out of my budget for Lexipol. That's just not happening. Put in a firehouse subs grant for 10 sets of turnout gear, gonna be approximately $38,000. That'll be all funded through firehouse subs. If I get the grant, nothing that'll be for the village. One thing that I just got yesterday or the day before that's not on this, I got a grant from Harbor Freight Tools as well. For new tools, or for a couple of the tools, nothing crazy. But other than that, that's all I got.
Any questions for chief? Or
So as far as Alexa Pool, was that discussed did you do that on your own or were you asked? Okay. So so between the Alexa Pool and the bylaws, this is now the second time, this on the chief, that no discussion has been brought up at the Public Safety Committee talking about that after all the money and time. Betsy's been on record saying that, when Chief Warden was the chief, that asking him if he could do 20 to 30 Lexipol things, he said he didn't have the time. So I appreciate you saying you didn't have the time or money to do that, because we were trying to do that at the same time, but it's being forced down our throat to do that. The only thing I ask is, moving forward, when it comes to something that was pushed down in previous meetings, that there is a discussion in committee. So we can voice our opinions and we don't have to say it or have to bring up dirty laundry during a board meeting. That's all I have. Thank you.
Anything else for Chief Lease?
chief?
Thank you.
Brandon, you don't have anything to add over the police department thing? The last thing is item number 11 on my minutes from last time. Fire department will be presenting the year-end report at our meeting in January.
Yes, yep, I'll have a year-end report done for the fire department that I'll present in January, and I will forward it to all the board members as well.
Could you email that out ahead of?
Yes.
Thank you, chief. Thank you, Brandon. That is it, Madam Chair.
Okay. Moving on to planning, legislative and property committee, Chairman Hess.
We met on November 20th. For the planning, property and legislative committee. We did have an update on the 140 Market Avenue property. It was sold and we had $54,000, just over $54,000 put back into the TIF account on that sale. We did, have an update on the 160 Market Avenue. Our attorney Apps is working with the company in Oklahoma, to serve paperwork on the raise order. And Ben has an update a little bit.
Yeah, so, last night I received a phone call from the owners of that, living in Oklahoma. And they obviously received their raise order yesterday, so they called me and wanted to know what, steps it would take to start working in the right direction. And I told them that we'd need an email from them with a timeline. And a contractor would have to get a hold of the village to get a building permit, in the works. And so we could see that there was a contractor officially signed to do the work and a work schedule from them, to see improvements, made on that building. So he took my email information. He told me by the end of this week that I would have a update from him. So it was good to hear from him. I finally have a number, with that. I'll have that recorded. So I think that we're gonna see some positive activity. So unfortunately I had to go to that direction. I did let him know that we do have village money invested in this at this time. So, we're gonna hold them to the fire because we're being accountable for the residents, what we're spending on this, unfortunate problem.
So he is going to put money into it to bring it back up to code?
Again, that's what told me on the phone, nothing in writing. This is what I was told on the phone.
So we know what the contractor is gonna be to fix it or demo it, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for the update.
Yep.
We did have an update also on the Cyber One TIF loan. There was significant discussion on that. They are basically in arrears of over 2 years, almost 2.5 years. So we're trying to work with them to get them caught up. We went through the agreement with them and we have, the opportunity to look at their finances to see if they can try to get caught up on their, payments. So we are trying to work that. I know Ben is working with that, trying to see if they have the funds to be able to try to catch back up. Anything to add on that?
So I spoke to both, Jamie from Cyber One and Rob from Coosa Port Edward State Bank. Jamie is working on his account out of Wisconsin Rapids, and we should have that information later this week, from their account in Wisconsin Rapids. Now I'll get with Rob to go over that.
Thank you. Update on the DMI demo permit. There's really been no, change in that. So it's coming to the year end when they were supposed to have their 10 items completed. So, you were sending out an email today, I know.
Yes, I did, send an email. I did have a conversation prior to Thanksgiving with Joe Moore. He told me after the holiday, he'd have some information to us, and I did send him an email today asking if he had any information to share with the village board for tonight's meeting. I did not receive, anything back from him. I will, be calling Joe next week, Monday, and updating at the next pit meeting what I hear from Joe Moore.
Thank you. We also did have an update on a DNR call. We met with the WEDC and DNR on some things relative to the DMI property. The idle grant that was a past grant. They talked about that. It was a $1 million grant for some road work and electrical work. That was completed and reimbursed. Unfortunately, DMI did not complete their part of it. So at this time, they're not interested in putting more money into that property. So we're trying to look at alternatives to try to get more money to get that property available for demolition and development. The update on the YMCA property, December 11th, next Wednesday, we're gonna have a committee of a whole meeting and talk about the YMCA property. They did announce as of December 1st, they are shutting the Port Edwards facility down as of January 1. The announcement went out on December 1st. 24-hour access is now moving to the Wisconsin Rapids facility, so he's gonna update us on that property. Tim Burkhauser, the CEO, is gonna be here and some of the YMCA personnel, so look forward to that meeting. And if it's okay with you, Madam President, I would like to see if we could not meet in December and then just meet in January. So I would propose that we have our next meeting would be on January 22nd at 6 P.M.
Sounds good to me. Any questions for the PLP committee? We'll move on to FHR, Chairman Radke.
FHR, we did not meet this month. We had met prior. And, I guess I just want to commend all the departments working together to get the budget work done, that we'll make a motion here at the report from the clerk treasurer. But it was just nice to see that, I did have an opportunity to talk to Chief Drew. I didn't, Chief Lisi, I didn't speak with you, but from my understanding that Ben had met with everybody and you guys all worked together on this and not separate entities. And were able to come up with a good budget, so, I commend you guys on that, and, the budget's out there that we looked at earlier. And that we'll be voting on that. The next meeting for FHR will be January 2nd at 4:30 PM. Otherwise, if we have to have one earlier, depending on the Police and Fire Commission, that would be out. We'll notify,
January 2nd at what time?
4:30. Any questions?
Any questions for FHR? No? Okay. Budget report.
Right, I guess that's what part of it, just that it was good to see, and that's the way we should be working as a village, no, not one separate entity, but all together.
Question.
Yes,
You had the public hearing. Did you pass the budget?
that's,
I'm sorry, I apologize.
That's
It's down
the
here.
clerk.
I see it.
treasurer report.
we're working on it. We're
I
getting
just see
it.
it now, apologize.
Okay, number 8, any unfinished business from previous meetings? Does anybody have any unfinished business? Okay, new business? Anybody have any new business? All right, number 10, report from village administrator.
I'll go first and then we'll let Dwayne go. We've got, two motions that we're looking for, two survey maps. One of them is connecting 2 lots into one across the river, and then Nepco Lake Development, and one is making 1 lot bigger and extending the properties for the second lot into the other lot. A couple clarifications of what goes on here when we do get these. I do drive over to development, look at the land, walk it over. I also have a conversation with, this one is through Kevin with Badgerland. I do have a conversation with Kevin, make sure everything's covered. And we also Kevin sends a copy of this to the developer. Obviously, prior to the boundary agreement, they're more involved. They have nothing to say, but we do for our own sake, Kevin does let the developer know what is going on. So, to keep everybody informed of what's going on. So, if we could have 2 motions on both of these, I don't see any issues. They cover the ordinances and the frontages and boundaries. There's no, concerns on these 2.
Okay. So, oh my gosh, get me right. I will make a motion to approve the Wood County certified survey map along Forest Trail for the owner of John Falls. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Hummel. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That one carries. Okay, motion to approve Wood County certified survey map along Forest Trail, owner Karen Cooper Shaw. Does anybody want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Radke. Is there a second?
Second.
A second by Hummel. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And,
Any opposed? Sorry,
sure.
go ahead.
In my closing, village administrator report, I would just like to, thank Dwayne. He's, been a good teacher to me. Left the door open. If we need anything with Dwayne, we'll definitely I will use him, as needed. But I just want to thank Dwayne over the last, like I said, it's probably the third time he's been here, and every time we pick up a little bit of something from him. So I do appreciate, his time and efforts that he's put here in the village also. When it comes to the budget, I gotta thank Diane. She's the backbone of it. She did a heck of a job with it. The department heads, Officer Drew and Officer Chief Lacy did a great job. We worked together. Had a few back and forth, but it wasn't nothing major. And as we're working on this budget, we're also working on the future. So definitely a lot of good things to come and for the budget. So I guess that's all I have. And obviously with the new position, you know, there'll be mistakes I'll make and learn. Definitely have the doors open. Please come to me if you see any concerns throughout the village or different things that we do. Teams meeting, obviously, as we all know right now, I'm trying to get the best of me, but I'm working through trying to learn the ins and outs so that they're all recorded and posted on the village website under recorded meetings. So, but again, if you see anything, please come to me. As you guys all know, if I see something out of you, I come to you. So I like the same thing right back from you guys. So I appreciate it.
Fine.
Yes, I want to say, that's the second time, not my third time.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank the board and the staff and the citizens of Port Edwards, because I've felt real welcomed and re-welcomed by the group to work here in a period of time I've had. Both times have been challenging, but at the same time, I find the community very interesting and very warming. And I think you guys, this community is lucky to have the type of community and cohesiveness, even though you may have your difficulties in the port, but overall, you got a very good family community here. So I really enjoyed working here. I have a few things I'd like to talk about, knowing that I won't be here in the future, and I know you'll be working on them. And one of them, as we talked about earlier, is the DMI matters. The DMI has been a thorn in your community for a long time. I call it a thorn because DMI has been not that cooperative, matter of fact, not cooperative at all, as far as for the village of Port Edwards. I do want to say though, however, they're the only player we have. And I know we have a bed deadline to come by the end of this month. I personally feel, I've talked to Ben about it, I don't think you're gonna meet that. That's just the way they are. I mean, you've been here some of you have been here long enough to realize that, some of you are new. And be able to meet it. However, what I'm going to say is that they are the only player you have. You can either cut them off with their knees, or tip them right over, or look at an extension to see if they can get themselves a demo permit. The thing is that Ben did a good job. He's done talking to DNR. The biggest thing they have is giving that, do they have a clean site to do the demo permit? That has to be part of things that he's working on. He's done work on the DNR on that. I know they're the only thing here now. The only thing you can do, if they don't want to play and they don't want to become part of the community, they can just walk. If they walk, I'm being honest with you, that sits in your community. It's in your backyard, been a long time. It's something that's going to be the village of Port Edwards' problem. And you're gonna have to try to deal with it in the long term. The second thing I want to bring up, I learned about since I've been here, is the YMCA. The YMCA has been a big part of this community for many years, and you saw it happen. They pulled themselves out. They went to Wisconsin Rapids. They did the same thing that what the Domtar did, pulled themselves out. And I'm not negative, but we now have a building. It's called the YMCA, old building. I've been through it. A lot of you people have been through it and seen the fire department. It again is a building that does not meet any requirements. And it also has to be demolished and portion of it. The reason I'm bringing that up is because there's the administration building. And you all know how this all fits together. The YMCA and administration building, you take a look at that chunk of land. In the eyes of me or a potential developer, that's a good chunk of land in the village of Port Edwards. Problem is, both those two chunks of land have the elephants sitting on them. They got buildings that are sitting on them that have to be demolished. And I want to go one more further and say, we do have the county grant that's hanging there. It has to go through the budgetary process with the county. I don't know if they're finished or not. It was a matching grant of 20,000. There'd be 10K for the village to be involved in it. We have, but you budget some monies like 45K each year in the TIF district for administration of, and legal fees. It says not all for one pot. However, I left with DMI, I think I went also with Ben, is that if we have a good relationship there, we'll still kick in $5,000 to that project. That'd bring ours down to 5. I don't know where you are with the YMCA, but I think if you can, I call the word, I'm gonna say expand that project to include a YMCA property. I think it benefits the village as a whole, looking at the overall area. Where do you finance that? I don't know if the YMCA is gonna, I think we should include them in that plan. They're not right now in that county plan, project plan. I wrote down, if you put another 5K into that piece, you can include the YMCA project. Where do you fund it? I don't know, question mark. Your YMCA puts $5,000 in, or does the village, I'm being very honest with you, or does the village look at that 45K and participate 5K to get that partial land into that overall project? Only reason I'm saying that is that you have something in place that project is supposed to collect the land together. It's also say, well, we find grants for demolition portion. And then also have a plan for our developer come place. You need some document in hand to start to talk with. And I'm putting on my economic development hat. That's what I thought, spanning it. The last and not least is something I've done over the years, just for my communities, all I worked with. And I don't want to use the right term, but like I said to you, it's nothing but arbitrage. Those two pieces, now you got another piece of property that's involved with it. We all know it's hard to get funding on federal and state portion for grant portions of it. I've seen other communities do it, and I don't want to use the word lobbyist, but you have to get someone to take a leadership to sell Port Edwards' demise property and say, we have to find a granting program to specifically find funding and get our legislators and our state governors and our federal people in line to put some money in a pot to take care of Port Edwards. You're going to compete against Wisconsin Rapids. You're going to compete against all our communities. But the only way you can really get some of these funds in place, which I've seen in the past, you got to be the squeaky wheel. And you got to be the squeaky wheel to make that effort forward. And that costs a little money. I'm just saying that to able to bring Port Edwards, those two, at DMI, I hope to do their own thing, but I'm looking at the administration building and the YMCA building, because when you look at that piece of land, it's in good location to do some real positive piece on. I'm on my box. I want to thank you all. I just wanted to put that out because it's something I have done over my career, my whole career, is economic development. And trying to putting these packages together is not easy. And I put a lot of federal fund, state fund package together. Yes, I spent some time sitting right in the offices of the elected officials. You got to come and pull them to you. They're not going to pay attention to you. They just want your vote and they come over. You got to come back and put your nose, excuse me saying, you got to put your nose right into their nose. And that's, you got to have the chutzpah and hook canoes to go right in there and say, this is what we need. You need to represent us. If you can't do it and you use both parties, you get both parties involved. You may be considered a Democrat or a Republican. I make sure those all work as a group. And then, believe it or not, your governor can do something for you. Right now, I don't know he's going to do it. There is a pot of money sitting out there. It's the what funds are those? The Kovac funds. He's sitting on a pile. He has to determine where he wants to put them. I know there's people knocking on his door already. They already got it lined up. I wish we had our team together earlier. That's my experience. That's my comments to you. I wish the best for Port Edwards. I think it's a wonderful community. Yes, if I wasn't living by my relatives up there, damn right I'd look at Port Edwards. It's really, really a nice community. Thank you very much for being part of it.
Thank you.
Good luck. I'm off my soapbox.
You kind of alluded to two situations or something in the first part of your speech, and you happened to glance my way. Are you still got problems with that game back in '67?
I have concluded, not anymore. Nope, you won and you laid me out.
Report from clerk treasurer A.
And I'd like to request a motion to approve the 2025 village budget and set the levy as recommended at the public hearing.
Okay, is there a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Brad Key. Is there a second? I'll second it. Okay, discussion on the budget. I know we heard it in the public hearing piece, but now we do need to discuss it a little bit more. If it's wanted, and then officially vote on it. So are there any questions, concerns, comments on the budget? From anybody? No? Okay, I can't see Eric, so that's why I'm trying to leave, sorry. Okay. Ben, Dwayne, Diane, do you have anything else to add on the budget? Nope.
I like Diane and the staff, and I worked with Diane before. Diane knows your budget very well and knows where you guys sit. She's a big asset to you. Even though I don't think Ben is, no, I'm just. Very good job.
I'm hearing nothing. We will vote on the motion to approve the 2025 village budget and set the levy as recommended in the public hearing. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That one carries.
And I'd like to ask for a motion to authorize the clerk to pay the bills for the remainder of the 2024 year.
Okay, I will make the motion.
I'll second it.
Second by Radke. Any discussion on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That one carries.
I'd like to ask for a motion to approve a temporary Class B beer license for Port Everett Firefighters Athletic Association for one event, Wild Game Feed, to be held December 14th, 2024, from 4:30 through 11 p.m. at the fire station.
Okay, does somebody want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by trustee Fluger. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Hess. Questions, comments,
Okay.
concerns?
Question.
Trustee Taylor.
As for the ordinance, do we have to have a licensed bartender on premises? Do we have a licensed bartender? Who's that? Okay, so he's taking the responsible beverage? Okay. And then the other 2 cents I have on that is, you know, the old fire department, not the old fire department, members of the fire department had asked to have 1 day permits, just like this, for retirement dinner meetings, so that the retirees could have a dinner meeting. And those were all denied at the time, this time last year, because it was brought up that it was an insurance problem issue that Betsy and Attorney Apps had disclosed. So if we cannot have those back then, how could we have this now?
I would have to look back and see if there's an email trail. Do you remember seeing the email? If there was.
It was on video. I could probably look it up in the minutes.
Okay.
And it was all part of, you know, getting the alcohol out of the fire station, which I'm not against. It was just the issue of having it for that one-time dinner meeting, and it was denied. And now that things are settling down, now we're gonna allow that to happen. So if we're gonna allow it to happen, then we should allow it to happen. If not, we shouldn't have to change. Because the time and the energy has been spent to tell us that we couldn't do it. So that's my question.
I guess I don't exactly verbatim remember, but to me, I look at this as like the street dance. It's a fundraiser. They're coming and asking for a one-time thing. I guess that's in my head. That's how I look at this, is different than dinner meetings, but that's just how I'm looking at it.
So could that be held off-site, just like the Christmas parties or any other parties or opportunities that we had there in the past, that we were told no, that we couldn't have alcohol on site at village property?
You mean asking about this one?
Yes.
Specifically?
Yes.
I guess I don't. The street dance is held there. Correct?
Well, that's my question to you guys as a board, is all this time and energy was no alcohol, no, or gotta have Lexapol, gotta have bylaws, and then fast forward a year, nobody's sitting over there to keep harping at it, and it's like, oh, we're done. Now it's coming back around. So if it wasn't good then, why is it good now? Nothing against anybody on that fire department, nothing against whatever, but it was all policy created by the board and the public safety committee. Not your committee. But that's where I'm coming from. So until those are, figured out, the permit's already been purchased. I saw it in the journal entries or the entries. It's already been purchased by Jeff. The Facebook post has already been put out. All of that was put out before any of it came to committee or any of us had a discussion. If something were to happen in a wild game feed, somebody gets sick, somebody purchased some venison that is illegal, something happens, we are the ones that are accountable. If we can't have alcohol then, why can we allow it now? The fireman dance thing aside. That's my question. I'm sure I'll get outvoted anyway, so it don't matter.
Okay.
So,
Without objection, first we'll go to trustees Zerflu.
Thank you, Madam President. Some valid points were raised by trustee Saylor. And I think right now the best way to go about it, because I made a mention about my 74-year-old mind forgets a lot, right, Dwayne, you know that too.
I'm a little older.
Anyway, I think we get drafts down here, not on Mabel's television up there, but, and we have a video of the whole meeting on that subject, and that would be your committee, legislative committee.
Okay.
At a pit committee, whatever, that's your call, and that's a one item thing, and why was it here and why was it not here? That way we hear right from the attorney,
We can do that.
my suggestion.
That's fine with me. Okay, I have a note for that. Anybody else have anything? Okay.
Are you
So,
looking for me to rescind my motion then?
no, I guess.
I do have one
Oh.
question. Thank you, Madam President. This is a temporary license and this wild game feed is open to the public as a fundraiser.
Correct.
Okay.
Without objection, can we go to Chief Lacy? He had his hand up. I don't know if he wants to answer some questions.
Yeah, so for me, this is more of, it's for the athletic association, not the fire department. The athletic association puts on a street dance. It's all the same to me, so I don't understand. I mean, the history.
Yep.
Nothing against you on that.
Yep.
But I don't understand, like, now, like, I'm here now. I'd like to. Let's move forward is all, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
It's allowed for the street dance, the association puts on, the association's putting on this gun raffle, the same. It's. I guess I don't see an issue.
I don't have an issue with the fundraising event. If it is in ordinance and it was approved by the board not to have alcohol in a village-owned property, then the fundraising event can happen elsewhere than the fire department.
Yeah, I guess I just would like clarification from Attorney Apps, to be honest with you. I do remember a lot of those discussions about what we could use and what the association couldn't use, and it was quite a time. And I think you're doing a good thing, but I guess I would want clarification, make sure that we're doing things right as far as the alcohol permits.
That's why it needs to be here. So all six of us, including you, 7 of us can ask questions that pop up.
I guess if I'm remembering it right, which I could be wrong, but the conversations I've had, I believe it was, these types of things were okay. It was when it was just sitting in the station, not for an activity, not having a beer or a license. I think that was the issue more than like just having open access to it versus having a actual event. Chief Lee.
Sorry, one follow-up question. So if this is determined that we can't do like the game feed, then the fireman's dance should be the same. If we're gonna say that we can't have it for the game feed, then we shouldn't have the fireman's dance at the fire department either. It's either gonna be one way or the other.
That's why we need that meeting.
Got it. Okay.
And it should be in the ordinance. so we don't have to question and go back and forth.
Dwayne,
You hit on an area that I did some research on when I was here, just got here, and what I do know, and I worked with the liability portion, I didn't talk to our attorney, okay? But I did talk to our insurance agency, so I wanna let you know, Ben. And the insurance agency said, yeah, a fire department is allowable to have alcohol if it is sanctioned by the village board. And you'd have to, in other words, because they do allow events at fire department, I don't think you should go back to your insurance agents, ask the same question again before you just make sure that your attorney understands that. Or you sit, because your attorney may have, his opinion does not know about your insurance issue. I had to do the research on insurance. If you have alcohol in any public place, it doesn't have to be the fire department, you have to sanction them in the parks too, if they have an event in the park. So it doesn't matter where they're at. But it needs a village board to make that sanction before you can actually serve alcohol or have alcohol on any public premises. And it sounds really weird. I remember the days when I was back older, we didn't have the end of a town hall meetings and portion. You know, I'll go in and say, well, let's have a beer, and somebody will bring it to the city hall, and I have to say, no, we can't do that anymore. But if you want to go to a location and sit down and do it, you can do it. I had a village board that did that, and I'd have to make sure the village board, only two can sit here and two can sit here and two can sit here. So they make sure I didn't make a quorum on it. So these are the little things that you gotta work on. Even though these little things that you hear your attorney talk to, I'm giving you in layman's language. So if you're gonna talk about can or can't, like Trustee Eric is talking about, Sailor, you make sure that you have your attorney understands your policy procedures and what you can do within your policies. But I do know after talking to him, every one of those events, liability. So if you sanction this one, you're covered by your liability pieces, but I know what you're saying is, it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander.
I just don't,
I just wanna let you
however
know
we
when I
vote,
vote.
if it passes, us as trustees have to understand that when we vote yes or no, we're accountable for that.
Yes, that's what it's.
And when there is a liability, not just with the fire department, anything that we vote yes or no on.
Correct.
Ultimately, we could be held accountable.
You are. And that's what I want you to know, is that's why I've, a lot of places I've had this happen when out in different communities. And I've been through lawsuits and been through the process. Then you have to turn over to your insurance company. And the thing that's very important to realize, a lot of people say, well, we should do this claim or for it. You always gotta say denied a claim, so your insurance company covers you for that liability. And I think you know what I'm talking about here.
trustee Zerflu,
The original statement was a comment by trustee Sailor, right, under trustee comments?
no, we're still under the
It's under motion.
motion.
Oh,
We haven't voted on the motion yet, so. Anybody else have anything? Okay,
One last thing.
one more time.
One last, if we need to, the association can take out a 1-day insurance policy for it, an umbrella insurance policy. If that's something that the village deems necessary, just that way. I'm sure, I promise.
Okay, thank you.
I just have one other thing.
Yes, trustee Keith.
I would like to postpone the vote until we got I mean, if we have to get the insurance, thank you. Are we meeting this committee of the whole next Wednesday or something for this YMCA deal or something? But that's up to you. I mean, I'd like to have a little more information from Attorney Apps, and if we have to have an insurance umbrella, I would like to have that in the motion. So, but if you want to have the vote now, it's fine.
What's everybody's feeling?
Do we do anything special for the fireman's dance, which is an association event?
It's the same type of thing. We have to approve a beer license.
Do we have any other special requirements for that event?
Is there an agreement of sorts between the association and the village?
All of that was in the bylaws, and the bylaws are no more.
Correct.
So is there anything in the SOGs?
No. Not when it comes to the athletic
Right.
Association.
association, because it's a separate entity.
That's right.
Mhm.
So typically what happens as a risk management professional is you have an association, you have a sanctioning body, you have some sort of agreement that states what each party is individually liable for. And that's my thing with this, is that there's some sort of agreement, even a one pager, I agree to do this, this, and this between the association and the village. I think all of our liability would be very explicitly laid out.
Okay, so because we do have that committee of the whole, we can, if everybody is more comfortable, we can put it on that agenda. We can get the information from Attorney Epps.
We're talking very limited time here.
Very.
I
Well, I
think
know.
right now, Madam President, you should reopen the situation with Attorney Apps. And if it comes from him about the insurance thing and stuff like that, fine, we can talk about it at the closed session, but at least we got
Right.
something
You
done.
gotta do what you said.
But as far as
That's what you're.
making the motion, I still think we should do it tonight.
Okay. I can get obviously more.
Unless, who made the motion?
I did.
Unless they want to reopen.
I stand by it.
Okay. I will still get all the information and bring it to the committee of the whole or email it out before then.
There you go.
Could I revise my motion? Subject to an agreement between the village and the association?
That's what you do.
I make a motion to amend trustee Fluger's motion with what he just said.
Okay,
Second.
I gotta vote the amendment.
Trustee
Okay.
Hummel.
so now we have to vote on the original motion,
No, the amendment.
the amendment, sorry.
Amended, correct.
Okay, so the amendment,
What did you say?
Repeat that.
can you repeat? Your
You
your
actually,
amended motion.
actually, he changed his motion, which you didn't need to do it at all.
What's that?
So the motion is to amend it to. For what
To
it says.
approve it pending an agreement between the village and the athletic association.
Correct. Okay.
Who is the legal representative of the athletic association? Who would sign that? Would be you,
It'd be the president.
who is the president of the association?
Nick Dasso,
Pardon me?
Nick Dasso,
Okay,
and I'll talk to Nick as soon as we're done.
just so we have those individuals identified.
And that would be something that would be signed by president.
That's just, so we're on the same page and we know who the,
And I'll work with President Mansell and President Dasso. We'll get that one.
Absolutely.
So voting on the amended motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
They,
No. Okay, that one still carries, but I will get all that information for you.
Are we planning on having that meeting on the 11th then in conjunction with the YMCA?
Yeah, I will just have it on the agenda.
the cow meeting.
Yeah,
I do, yeah.
Time is that again?
4:30.
4:30?
Anything else, Diane?
Nope.
That one's it? Okay. Then we are moving on to trustee comments. Anybody have anything?
I got some.
Trustee Sailor.
Now take this with a grain of salt because I've lived here my whole life, graduated here, was on the fire department for 20 years, military, blah, 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 blah. I have a lot of heart and soul in this village. Been on this board the longest tenured out of anybody here. Less than a year ago, the Public Safety Committee was created by Betsy and the trustees with no prior knowledge of emergency services. And it created such turmoil and excessive demands that led to the chief and many firemen having no option but to resign. The same things that Warden took issue with, Lexipol, bylaws, alcohol at the station, Betsy and the Public Safety Committee have eliminated or allowed without any discussion at committee level. Even Eric Hummel volunteered his time to help Chief Warden with the issues that Warden was told were his fault. And the Public Safety Committee and you have now just brushed everything under that rug like nothing ever existed. All these meetings and discussions that are recorded and are public record, so anyone can find the information that I'm citing. All the time and money spent on meetings and investigations, the bylaw creation, Jesus, that was forever. Which was told to us as a village document. Lexipol, all the time spent with that, the physical security at the fire station, and all the PFC meetings and expenses could have been spent to replace expired turnout gear that the fire department in the village is currently looking for funds. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars. The president had the opportunity to temporarily put, no offense, had the opportunity to temporarily put Del Stewart to fill an empty seat on the board, who had 40+ years of public works experience. Fire department, 40+ years of fire department experience, and creating a budget because he was the DPW. But during the phone conversations that took place between Mr. Stewart and Ms. Mansell, There were some pointed questions asked about the fire department and how he would handle them. Those same questions were asked to me when I told Betsy that I wanted to be a part of the public safety committee. Answers must not have been heard or responded to the way that she liked, and neither of us are in those positions. I do not, and I am sick of bringing this stuff up, but us as a board, the village president has not taken any accountability or feel the need to apologize for the damage that she has done to the fire department during the last year. And I feel that I need to keep talking about it because all of the respect that was lost. We cannot continue to grow until those wounds are closed up. Before the fire department came under fire, the village fire department was a place of brotherhood, camaraderie, and legacy. 100 years plus legacy. All of us during our tenure had experienced things or seen things that are unimaginable. That you guys, minus the policeman, probably can't even fathom of things that we had to do, things that we had to pull people out of, and the state of the people and the things that we've had to deal with. All of us during our tenure, to help us do that, even at the board meetings back when we had the village meetings, we all leaned on each other. Our brothers and sisters that were on that fire service, the military, all of that, for support and guidance. That is not there anymore. Or, I don't want to speak for Chief Lees. What was there is not there anymore. Instead, coming together as a village and experienced firefighters, we've destroyed over 100 years of legacy and brotherhood that I don't think we're going to get back. All the chiefs, all of those meetings, all of that. It's going to take a lot to close up those wounds, and it starts at the top. I want to quit talking about it, but it's hard. That's all I have.
Thank you. Anything else from anybody?
I guess I just would like to thank Dwayne for all his service and,
Yeah, I don't mean to.
Thank you, Dwayne.
for friendship, and I wish you well, and thank you.
Thank you, and I understand your argument. You know I do, military.
Anybody else? No.
Thank you.
Drive safe.
Then the committee calendars. FHR will meet January 2nd at 4:30. Public Works, January 22nd at 5 o'clock. Public Safety, oh gosh. The 22nd at 4. Oh yeah, I'll just tell them. January 16th at 6 o'clock is not Public Works, I'm sorry. Parks and Rec. The PLP meeting is January 22nd. But then as a reminder, next week we do have that committee of the whole, December 11th at 4:30.
6 o'clock. What was the last one, Madam President? 6 o'clock.
The YMCA, the committee of the whole meetings to discuss with the YMCA, and then I will get that information and try to get Mr. Epps to bring answers on that.
What date was that again?
The 11th.
11th.
Did I miss anything? Did I screw anything up? That's, I know they're all. Did
PLP is at 6 PM.
I say? Something on the restart?
PLP,
PLP.
Property
Okay,
Legislative.
without objection, I will call the meeting at 8:03.
Hallelujah.